Hi guys, Iron Cameraman here. As many people have correctly pointed out, episode 75 was quite unusual. After all, in this episode we saw a lot of things for the first time, which was never before in the series. For example, for the first time Dafuk Boom showed us Skibidi Woman. It was also the first time we saw a new secret character moving on a mysterious chair. Other than that, we finally found out who's under the mask of one of Astro Toilets. And I'm still silent about the alliance teaming up with the Skibidi Toilets or the new love line we'll talk about soon. Agree that such a huge amount of innovation in one episode makes it too far from what we are used to seeing. It is for this reason that many were left confused after the first viewing. So I decided to gather all the secrets and details in this analysis to make sense of all the chaos together. So be sure to put like and watch to the end so you don't miss anything important. Anyway, here we go. The episode suddenly begins with rain and lightning. When the camera turns, you can see the Astro Transporter destroying everything in its path. But besides him, if you pay attention, there is some mysterious man down on a building. At first I thought it was Secret Agent, but given that no green glow is visible from him, as is usually characteristic of a secret agent, it seems to me that this is a new character. This is also indirectly confirmed by the chair, which is strangely close to him, so we'll have time to talk about it, as it appears more than once in this episode. Astro Transporter has the same shield as Astro Juggernaut near his head, and this is caused by the camera helicopters that start shooting at him. However, a little later we notice several Skibidi fighters flying out of him, which easily kill all the camera helicopters. Now it becomes clear why Dafuk gave it the official name Carrier. It turns out it's a flying home for these Astro freaks. With that in mind, it becomes clear that this Astro Toilet is a strategically very important fighter, and the Alliance needs to come up with a plan to destroy it as soon as possible. The poor cameramen were frightened. One of them even covered his cell with his hands. Most likely he was sad that Astro Toilet so ruthlessly and easily defeated the Alliance. At the same moment, you can notice the moving chair I told you about at the beginning. When Boom showed it in the spoilers, I thought it would be another joke for once and nothing more. But judging by the fact that he added it 3 times and mysteriously had some person next to him 2 of those times, it's not just for fun after all. It is a way of transportation for this character, which means that he can teleport or move very quickly with it. In fact, at the very end of the episode, this chair was next to the car that the mysterious character was in. And I will remind you that the last scene is much farther away than the scene at the beginning of the episode. That's why I think this chair has the ability to move quickly. A lot of people will probably remember an old series from Dafuk Boom called Multiverse of Beatbox. So their male 07 was on the magic chair for almost the entire episode. And this could either be a reference to that, or it could be further proof that male 07 is chief among Astro Toilets, and this chair belongs to him. Another month ago, Dafuk Boom showed this shot of male 07 doing mewing, with Astro UFO cannon visible in the background. Anyway, so far I have only guesses who it could be, and at the moment, all my guesses lead to male 07. So write your opinion in the comments. Am I right, or do you have a more plausible theory about it? The next scene is much more interesting, because here we can see quite funny emotions of surprise. A small group of Skibidi Toilets happily move towards the Astro Interceptors, thinking that they are their allies and have come to the rescue. However, Astro Toilets look at each other in cold blood and activate destruction mode. It is clear from the faces of Skibidi Toilets that they don't even understand why they are about to be killed or what happened. The Skibidi Spider's face was so sad that I even felt sorry for them for a while. Do you remember how in episode 60, there were regular Skibidi Toilets next to G-Man who surrounded him and basically helped Astro Toilets? So it turns out that before, at least partially, but some part of the Skibidi Toilet army could choose who to fight for and obey. But now the situation has changed drastically. They don't even ask the Skibidi Toilets who they are for, but kill them immediately simply because they are not Astro Toilets, but ordinary ones. This leads me to believe that they're not just punishing them for betraying G-Man, but that they had this plan originally, and G-Man was just an excuse to launch a large-scale attack. A little later, after some of the details I've found, you'll see why I think that. A mini Juggernaut suddenly appears in the air and kills Skibidi Toilet, and then notices POV Cameraman, and it becomes clear that the squad is not going to have a sweet time, as they have been figured out. They all prepare to attack from the open entrance, but the mini Juggernaut decides to come in from the other entrance and thus gains the advantage of surprise. He kills everyone in his path with his super speed, while the big cameraman changes the shell on his bazooka and prepares to reload. However, he doesn't have time to do so, and unfortunately, dies as well. After all this, the mini Juggernaut only has one eye broken and not completely. This means that it's very armored, which isn't surprising since it's the baby of the big Juggernaut. Juggernaut himself confirms this, as well as the similar appearance. By the way, pay attention to his lasers. Toward the end of the fight, he loses them, and Skibidi Woman picks one of them up. You can tell by her back. In the beginning, she has nothing on her back, but later you can see that very laser there. I'm reminded of the extra scene where Big TV Man and Scientist TV Man steal Astro Toilet's claw. I'll also remind you that in episode 74, TV Man Scientist was telling TV Man Titan not to kill G-Man and capture him alive. Based on that, the scientist starts developing new technology by researching different body parts of his opponents. And since Skibidi Woman here has decided to become a collector as well, I think we'll be shown in some future additional scene that the TV Man Scientist has already befriended Skibidi Woman, and they've agreed to have Skibidi Toilets, like agents, collect trophies to steal technology. This is the first time in the entire series that the Skibidi Toilets have teamed up with agents. We see a squad of Skibidi Toilets diligently wanting to kill a mini Juggernaut while keeping the cameraman out of harm's way. After a few hard hits, even after applying Skibidi acid and toilet paper, there's no way he wants to die. The only thing is, he just lost his lasers and started burning up. But then the Skibidi hybrids came up, dealing critical damage, and one of them planted a bomb that blew up part of the mask. Skibidi Woman ended up finishing him off, and he died. Judging by its ear and overall fur, it's probably a dog, also indicated by its tail, since it had a glowing thing in the back that resembled an armored tail. But because the front of the mask is still in place, I can't be 100% sure it's a dog. We then see a smoking cameraman and a helmeted Skibidi Toilet, which was most likely a military man before it turned into a toilet. Judging from further footage, they became good friends, and towards the end, the cameraman even shared a cigar. Overall, since we already have such successful unification cases, it seems to me that even after the Astro Toilet threat is eliminated, Skibidi Toilets and agents could potentially live together forever as they manage to befriend each other more deeply. However, we should not forget that there are other cases available. For example, in the case of TV Man Titan, I don't think he will quickly decide to team up with G-Man just yet. There needs to be a good reason for that. But we'll talk about that another time. Now let's break down what Astro Juggernaut said at this point. First, we hear the familiar sound of his spinning cymbal, and Skibidi Woman shows a gesture of silence to quietly leave and not get burned. But suddenly we hear Astro Juggernaut say, "I can see you through walls." Apparently, he has a thermal imager that allows him to see bodies through walls, and when he destroys the roof, he sees the mini Juggernaut killed. First he says, "What?" and then adds the phrase, "My baby," and later threatens with, "You will pay for this." It seems that this puppy was his baby, which means that underneath Astro Juggernaut's mask is not a cat, but a dog. When Dafuk Boom said in an interview that the Skibidi cat would be returning to the series, a theory quickly spread among viewers that it was the same cat hiding under Juggernaut's mask. This was further reinforced by the paw on the mask. And it turns out that the audience was not wrong. We were very close to the right answer. The squad manages to get out of the hangar, and in an instant, as POV cameraman turns, you can see the magic chair again. This time it was in the center between buildings, and the gray colors make it look pretty creepy, just like in horror movies. So I don't think the owner of this chair is a kind character. After that, Skibidi Woman saves POV cameraman, and funnily enough, he later puts like to her and she just smiles. This is most likely a new love line, which is very suspiciously similar to the simp cameraman's love line with TV Woman. I'll remind you that in that case too, it started with a rescue. However, In this case, there is a difference. This girl, unlike the TV woman, seems more human in that respect. And maybe they even have something to work out, and it won't be a one-sided love. Suddenly in flight, they do get hit by a shell and they fall. But luckily they are rescued, and the smoking cameraman and his smoking friend pull them out from under the rubble. Toward the very end again, we see the mysterious character in the car, and once again, the chair. I already talked about this at the beginning of the video, so I won't repeat myself. As for POV Cameraman, he has a bright yellow shirt, and it appears that he, as well as the smoking cameraman with the smoking soldier and the Skibidi woman, will play an important role in the story. And these are hardly one-episode characters. In fact, the entire episode was about this squad, and they will serve as a good example for others to follow, so that the process of pairing agents with Skibidi Toilets is a large-scale phenomenon and not a private case. In the next video, I'll give you even more secrets and theories about what's coming next in the series. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it, and if you haven't watched it, check out my other videos. Bye.